Hey, yo, what up? Welcome back. There's not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. Bit of a breaking news situation. A verdict has been reached in the Diddy Sean Combs trial. Okay, the jury has returned a verdict on the 5 counts. Just to recap, he was facing 5 counts. So 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, 1 count for Jane Doe, 1 count for Cassie, and also facing 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Again, 1 for Jane Doe, 1 for Cassie. On the biggest charge that he faced, the racketeering charge, the jury found Diddy not guilty of racketeering. So he beat the RICO that he was facing. On 2 counts of sex trafficking, 1 for Cassie, 1 for Jane Doe, he was found not guilty. On the 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, 1 with Jane Doe, 1 with Cassie, he was found guilty on both of those charges. So he faces, these carry a max sentence. He can face up to 10 years in prison. He has 2 charges and is now facing 10 years in prison when that sentencing comes down. Doesn't mean those sentences run concurrently. So it doesn't mean he's facing 20. It doesn't mean each count carries 10. Each count does carry 10, but they run like at the same time. So at max, he would have to do, or he can get sentenced to 10 years. During sentencing, obviously they could, the court could decide to sentence him much less than 10, or considerably less than 10 years. And then in federal court, you don't have to serve all your time. Roughly, I believe like 80% of your time. There's a world where he can get 8 years. There's a world where he can get 5 years, and he already served 1. Plus serving 80% of your time, he may be out in another 2 or 3 years. We don't know how the sentencing is going to come down. That's all speculation. But this pretty much went how I thought it would go in following this. If you've been watching me, I didn't believe, and this is just my belief from the transcripts that I read and the way I was following this case, I didn't believe that the prosecution had done enough to support the racketeering case and to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. The racketeering is generally usually used for the mob, for organized crime in that way. The John Gottis of the world, things like that. So this was a creative use of racketeering, maybe a use that we aren't used to seeing, or in a way that we aren't used to thinking about it. And they just couldn't prove or they couldn't convince the jury that Diddy was running a criminal organization. The other side of that is that the people who work for him have to knowingly know they're a part of a criminal organization. Sort of like when you're in the mob, do you know it? I assume so. But Diddy had real legitimate business. So if you're working as his personal assistant, you're working on Bad Boy Records or Sean John or Revolt, or those people came in not like, oh man, I'm about to get this job for this criminal enterprise. They came in with, I'm going to get this job with Diddy and work in the music industry. And even if they did some illegal things, lines were blurred. I'm just saying it was much harder to prove, and the jury agreed there. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the jury comes out. The judge told the jurors that the choice to speak about the case is up to you. There is an important reason to respect the privacy of your deliberations, he said. That being said, the choice of whether to speak to others about the case and your personal views is up to you. I think some jurors might speak. I think there's some money. I think some people will offer money to jurors to get insight into what the jury was thinking. We'll see if any jurors kind of speak up. But the judge said the case is up to you. Whether you want to do it. The judge also thanked the jurors for their tremendous sacrifice. He said, I want you to know that it is inspiring to all of us. You listen, you work together, you were here every day, rain or shine. You did so with no reward other than the reward that comes from answering the call of public service. That should give all of us hope, the judge said. And then the judge said he would meet the jurors to thank them personally for their service. But that's what it is, man. Judge also says he'll make a decision on Combs' possible release after lawyers submit letters. He asked the defense attorneys and prosecution to submit letters on their positions about the possibility of releasing Diddy. This just came in 1 minute ago, about the possibility of releasing Diddy. The letters are due by 1 p.m. today, and the judge will make a decision afterwards. Let's see. Assistant U.S. Attorney said, she said the trial showed evidence of extensive abuse and prolific drug use that the defense did not contest. Sean Diddy Combs continued to commit a litany of crimes after he knew he was under investigation, that he doesn't respect the law. Comey also confirmed the government intends to seek a sentence of incarceration and that Combs still faces up to 20 years in prison for the 2 counts he's been convicted of. I'm reading this on CNN. So I may be wrong. I thought the 2 counts, I thought they would run at the same time. The prosecution is saying that those charges are 10 years, and so one after the other. I was under the belief that they would run together, but it seems like all this has to be figured out. The prosecution is fighting their case. The defense says that he should be released today, in light of the fact that Combs has been acquitted on racketeering and sex trafficking. He says Combs will go back to his house in Miami and abide by conditions set by the court. Combs does not have access to a plane. His entire family is here, and any 5 of them can sign onto a bond, and they want him released today. So we'll see if he gets released today. But I'm going to end it here. Just wanted to come speak to y'all real quick. But, there it is. Let me know in the comments, all right? Let's talk. Peace.